All right. Luckily, college football is going to probably definitely easily be the shortest episode of this week because we're at the end of the season. It's all
It's
over.
over.
College football is done. Ended in the not most opportune way for us Michigan fans, but still a happy ending in the end because Ohio State didn't win the championship. That's all that matters. Clemson,
Yeah.
this is why you don't underestimate your opponent. Okay? Let this be a lesson to any team. Do not underestimate your opponent and do not talk trash about them. Especially when you've beaten them the past couple times in the playoffs. They're already mad. Don't make them madder. Don't poke the bear. You poke the bear and then underestimate the bear, it's gonna bite your head off. And that's what they did. But we'll talk about that. Let's get into some of the bowl games. We'll start with the first one the kind of right where we kind of left off. Liberty beating Coastal Carolina 37-34 in a game that I still cannot believe I witnessed. That game was nuts. I mean, Liberty's just taking their knees to near the goal line to kick the game-winning field goal with no time left, and he kind of just sits there letting some time run out before he takes a knee, and then decides to try to run into the end zone and fumbles the ball. He just fumbled the ball when all he needed to do was take a knee. And then we go into overtime. It was the worst play ever, and then Liberty ended up winning still by a field goal. But that was a crazy fun game to watch. Getting to see those two kind of smaller schools battle each other.
I did not really see much of this game, unfortunately. I missed pretty much the entire thing until like the fourth quarter where I kind of saw a little bit and then overtime. But very fun game. It was very competitive. Like you said, two smaller schools, both of them on having a really good season. And both of them looking to make some noise end of the year. And in the end, it was Liberty.
Very close by both of them. Louisiana, number 19, Louisiana, beating UTSA 31-24.
Yeah, whatever.
Congrats.
Congrats on the First Responders Bowl win.
Georgia State beating 5-7 Western Kentucky 39-21 in the Lending Tree Bowl. Cool. UAB winning the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl because nobody else showed up. Army winning the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl because nobody else showed up. Did they go to someone else? Oh, they went to another game.
They went to Liberty. They went to the Liberty Bowl against West Virginia and lost by 3.
Well, sorry, you're not the winners of the Independence Bowl, Army. Sorry. Oklahoma State, Miami. That's another one that was 37-34. That was a fun game.
Yeah, I did watch that one. That was a decent game. Miami's De'Ara King, though, very devastating injury. Hopefully that doesn't affect next year because I really like that kid. He's a really good talent, and I was kind of excited to hear that he was coming back for yet another season. And then he tore his ACL in the bowl game. I'm like, no, he's so good.
Sucks. And then Oklahoma State opening up a 21-point lead in the first quarter, and then Miami slowly chipping away at that. And then the next, so congratulations to the Oklahoma State Cowboys for winning the Cheez-It Bowl. And then the Valero Alamo Bowl. My God, Texas. Sam Ellinger went out on a high note.
Okay, at most, and Texas has a really good team. I was really surprised still, though, to see that Texas fired Tom Herman. They fired Tom Herman. They went and got Sark.
Oh, really?
Sarkisian of Alabama. So I'm really curious to see how that turns out, especially since they just said, well, forget you. You haven't gotten us to a championship. Goodbye, Herman.
I'm going to head out.
And so they went and got Sarkisian now from Alabama. So that should be very interesting. That championship game for Sarkisian would be his last time as an Alabama offensive coordinator. He'll now be the head coach of the Texas Longhorns.
But congratulations to the Texas Longhorns and Sam Ellinger on a dominant Alamo Bowl win. Wait. No, Sam Ellinger wasn't there. Wait. He was. He just didn't throw as well as Casey Thomas. When did they put Casey Thompson in?
Ellingner got hurt in the game, so...
Yeah, I didn't watch this. I didn't end up watching this game. Okay, I was about to say, he threw for 4 touchdowns. Like, congratulations to Thompson. Holy crap. Well, congratulations to the Alamo Bowl champions. Oklahoma. What a turnaround.
Well, they really won that game big time because half of Florida's guys were not playing in that game, so most of them weren't even in the game that really got Florida to where they were. So Oklahoma just basically beat their backup roster. But how about the game before? Wisconsin, they beat Wake Forest, and then they destroyed their trophy.
First off, before we go on, congratulations to number 6 Oklahoma for winning Goodyear Cotton Bowl. All right, moving on. We got to congratulate everybody. But wait, Wisconsin destroyed their
Yeah, when they, I believe it was.
Is it a glass trophy?
Yeah, it was a glass trophy. Crap. Who's their quarterback?
Of Dukes.
Greg Mertz. Mertz had the trophy in like his hands, and they're like kind of dancing around with it. He dropped on the floor, and it shattered everywhere. So instead, what they did, because it's like it's Duke's Mayo Bowl, what they did to basically just pretend like they fixed it. They just taped a bottle of the mayo stuff right on top of like the empty thing of where the trophy used to be. Just taped that on there, like yeah.
Nice one, Graham Mertz.
They used to have the video on here. I was gonna look for it, but it's not on here now.
The Music City Bowl got canceled, but that game would have been fun. Iowa, Missouri.
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
The OfferPad Arizona Bowl. I would have gone to this game, but they weren't allowing fans in. Ball State destroying San Jose State. Congratulations, Ball State. You're the OfferPad Arizona Bowl champions. And then Mississippi State.
See that San Jose State, they had an undefeated season, and then they lay an egg like they had against Ball State. But you're going to go on again. But you're going to talk about the brawl in Tulsa, Mississippi State. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was a mess after it. But 3-win Mississippi State, because half of the schools didn't want to go to bowl games. 3-win Mississippi State's like, you know what? We'll go to a bowl game. And they play a ranked Tulsa, and they beat them. Congratulations to Mike Leach and Mississippi State for winning the Armed Forces Bowl. And everybody gets to win because we get to see a fun brawl. Anyway.
Yeah, that was ugly afterwards.
It was pretty ugly. Anyway, West Virginia beating Army by 3 points, 24-21. So, congratulations to West Virginia for ending their season on a high note. So, West Virginia,
here's another 24-21 game coming up.
West Virginia, you are the AutoZone Liberty Bowl champions. Oh, the Texas Bowl would have been fun too. Arkansas and TCU. I would have liked to see that. Arkansas is better than 3-7. They were in the SEC.
Yeah, so. They're a decent team.
Now we get to the college football playoffs. Actually, wait, no. That's just how it's listed.
How about the other two there?
That's just how it's listed on my thing, so we're just gonna go with that. Alabama handling Notre Dame, 31-14.
Wow, shocker.
Who's surprised?
I forget who it is that keeps calling it this, but there's someone who keeps calling. I forget who it is. I can't remember the guy's name, but he calls the college football playoff the Alabama Invitational.
Basically. Alabama, and in recent years, it's been also the Alabama Clemson Invitational, but it's pretty much one of those. It's one of those two. It's more Bama, but it's one of those two typically. But yeah, handling it. Devontae Smith, also congratulations to Devontae Smith for winning the Heisman. Definitely well deserved. He put up a monster season.
Unfortunately, he got hurt in the championship game, but they still dominated the Buckeyes, so it's not like it mattered.
So, Alabama, you are the Rose Bowl champions, so congratulations. And then Clemson fell asleep. Trevor Lawrence played not that great. I mean, actually, he played pretty well. He just didn't get it in the end zone. ETN didn't really show up. The defense didn't show up at all for Clemson.
I will say that in the second quarter, there was some really bad calls. You can't blame everything on the refs, but there's one call I will say that had a big influence on basically the entire game, which was that targeting call they had on Clemson's defensive captain. That was a miserable call. That was terrible. And that really changed the entire course of the game. Because Ohio State was Clemson had basically stopped Ohio State on that. And they were it was a really close game, obviously, at that point. They had stopped them. They would have had to kick a field goal. But then they called targeting, which not only gave Ohio State a first down, but it also took out Clemson's defensive captain, their best player on the defense for the entire game, and then they just blew it open in the second quarter. It wasn't even close. Ever since that.
And also Travis Etienne only had 10 carries for 32 yards. That's just unacceptable. That's unacceptable by Etienne.
Honestly, when I saw Trevor Lawrence in that game, he looked like a scaredy cat. He looked like he was afraid to get hit. He was very scared in the pocket, and it did not look good. He was flicking the ball out in 2 seconds. Anytime the Ohio State defense got anywhere near him, he would just toss it away. Mm-hmm. It looked like he was scared to get hit. I don't know if he had been hurt recently, but it just was not a good look for Lawrence in that game.
And then Justin Fields was obviously on that game, throwing for 6 touchdowns. So, moving on. Congratulations, Ohio State. You're the Sugar Bowl champions. Whatever. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. All right. Number 9, Georgia. Number 8, Cincinnati. Cincinnati put up a really good fight against a top-ranked Georgia team. Couldn't get it done in the end. Georgia wins 24-21, but they put up a good fight. I mean, they were leading for a good portion of that game.
Honestly, they didn't win the game, but I consider this I really consider this a win for Cincinnati. I mean, this is a great step forward considering how close you were against a really good SEC team. You played that well against them. I consider that a win for Cincinnati. You go into next season knowing you played that well with an SEC team. Yeah, I guess that kind of says they wouldn't have done anything in the college football playoff. But anyone who got to number 4 spot would have been playing Bama anyways.
So would have been wiped out by Bama anyways.
Exactly. Like we said, it's the Alabama Invitational. It really doesn't matter who plays them; they're going to get smoked. But I mean, I still think that's a win for Cincinnati. Looks good for the future, maybe going into next season. Maybe they get some more good players, and that they improve on what has already been what was a really good season. I mean, you never know.
Mm-hmm. Also, real quick before we continue going on to the next game, Michigan fans, we get to deal with another 5 years as of now of Harbaugh, unless he gets fired. But I do like with the Harbaugh extension that they're paying him a good amount less with incentives based on his performance. I like that. Performance-based incentives.
Honestly, I'm not that mad with the extension. It depends on who they get for the defensive coordinator. Because I thought that was the biggest problem. Don Brown was causing us major issues, and well, he might cause more for you, but
considering you went to Arizona, luckily I'm more of an Arizona State fan than I am a U of A fan, but
yeah, they might have problems, but honestly, I think that's a huge step forward for Michigan. Really, I think that was the issue mostly. I mean, I think Josh Gas is a fine offensive coordinator.
Well, and the quarterbacks have never been anything special. We haven't found a special quarterback just yet.
Well, we're about to. We have J.J. McCarthy now.
J.J. McCarthy looks good, and I hope he actually
I think he will be. And honestly, I think he can easily start year 1.
Oh, he probably will. He's Joe Milton. Joe Milton's not going to start.
I like Cade McNamara. He's good. But Milton's a bum. But McNamara's really good. I like him a lot. But I think I'm still thinking that McCarthy is going to get the job as a freshman. And hey, McNamara's not going to be a bad backup, obviously. If
Joe Milton just doesn't. Joe Milton just doesn't have.
Time they'll put him in. I mean, why not?
Milton just doesn't have a fire. He just doesn't have a fire. He comes out there and he's like.
Anyways, I think the issue for Michigan next year could very easily be the defense. We don't have anyone coming in on defensive end recruiting right now. I mean, unless something happens in the next signing period, whenever that is, that could be really the difference in how well our defense plays. But I have heard of some of the candidates that Michigan has for defensive coordinator, which I really like a decent amount of them. what I've seen on some sites is the former South Carolina head coach Will Muschamp. I'd love that for a defensive coordinator. That'd be a really nice signing. Or the former Illinois head coach Lovie Smith. I love Lovie Smith. And then I've also heard that Jim Harbaugh wants to get the Ravens linebackers coach for defensive coordinator. Know how good the Raven linebackers have been? That would be awesome for our defensive coordinator. That'd be amazing. Yeah. So a lot of good candidates, honestly. A lot of good candidates. And then there's the bad ones like Charlie Strong. But honestly, it doesn't bother me as long as we just get a good person for our defensive coordinator, and hopefully by then something changes.
Mm-hmm. And going on with the games, Northwestern absolutely smacking Auburn.
Well, Auburn's not special, and Northwestern was having
Bo Nix ain't the guy. I thought Bo Nix was going to become something special when I first watched him play against Oregon last season, and he just has not done that good. I'm sorry, guys. He just hasn't done that good. Texas Georgia, you are the Georgia. Congratulations, you are the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl champions. Northwestern, congratulations, you are the Verbo Citrus Bowl champions. Texas A&M and North Carolina. It was a good game for a good time, and then in the fourth quarter, Texas A&M showed why they're the number 5 team in the country and pulled away from North Carolina 41-27. But it was close there for a good while.
I mean, yeah, the entire day of January 2nd had a lot of good games. Ole Miss, Indiana was fun. Kentucky, NC State was close. And Iowa State was able to handle Oregon. But A&M, North Carolina, was definitely a fun game. Aggies were obviously a little irritated they didn't get into the playoff. So they just took out their anger on North Carolina eventually. I think they're a little gun-shy in the first half. I mean, North Carolina was missing a lot of people, so I was a little confused as to why A&M was struggling. But, I mean, eventually the Aggies pulled it off. They pulled away. They end up winning. I mean, North Carolina's good. They're not good. They're not better than A&M.
No. And then Oregon absolutely getting throttled, too, by Iowa State. That was surprising.
Yeah, I did not see that one coming.
I knew Iowa State was good and would probably beat Oregon, but I didn't think it would be 34-17.
Honestly, I think the other way around. I thought Oregon would be able to knock off Iowa State, and, well, evidently it wasn't really even close.
I gave it to Iowa State. Iowa State played more games, and I like Brock Purdy. Congratulations, Texas A&M. You're the Orange Bowl champions, and congratulations, Iowa State. You are the Fiesta Bowl champions. Ole Miss, Indiana. Now, if Penix was here, I think Indiana would have easily taken care of business. But unfortunately, they didn't have Penix, which made the game really close, and Ole Miss ended up pulling away at the end.
I mean, good season still for Indiana.
Oh, for sure.
Penix will be coming back, so they still got a really good quarterback, obviously. And maybe they build off of this season into the next one, and we'll see what happens. Never know.
Yep. Congratulations, Ole Miss. You are the Outback Bowl champions. Wait, does that mean the Bloomin' Onions? Should we get free Bloomin' Onions then? Because the Outback Bowl, you either get free Bloomin' Onions or free something else. I just remember that from when Michigan was in the Outback Bowl against South Carolina.
Twice.
Twice. And then Kentucky pulling away by 2 points against NC State. That was a fun game too. Kentucky obviously held it in the first half, then NC State made a run at it, but Kentucky held their ground and barely won.
Yeah, I mean, Kentucky's got a decent team. We're not talking about their basketball team, which, I mean, normally they're good, but they've been miserable this season. We're talking about football, but Kentucky's football team has been average. That's basically what they've been for the past few years now, besides that 1 year when they just were really stinking good for, like, no reason whatsoever. But, I mean, Kentucky's got a decent team. They normally seem to nowadays. But, Wildcats, nice win to end the year, and maybe they can get something in recruiting and maybe compete in the SEC, which will be hard. So.
Mm-hmm. And for all of you college basketball fans, obviously the college basketball episode will be coming out, I think, tonight. But just went final, Oklahoma State with the 5-point upset over Kansas. Got the steal right at the end when Kansas was trying to go for a 3, and then he made a flashy dunk right at the end because he could. So, Oklahoma State, big win. We'll talk about that on the college basketball episode. That just went final, though. And number 1, Alabama. kicking Ohio State in the butt. Mac Jones put on a clinic for 5 touchdowns. Nick Saban becomes the winningest college football coach, or the college football coach to win the most championships of all time, with a bunch more probably on the future. I'm happy for Mac Jones, considering he had to sit behind Jalen Hurts and Tua, and now he gets his chance in the spotlight, and he leads him to a college football playoff victory. Najee Harris, 2 more touchdowns, and even with the injury, Devontae Smith still had 3 touchdowns, 215 receiving yards. So Alabama just the most complete team this year, and they showed it by putting on a clinic against the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I mean, for my prediction, I had Alabama 55, Ohio State 31. Pretty close, honestly. But I knew Bama's defense is better than they play mostly. But the thing with Bama's defense is it's very streaky. They have moments where they look like one of the best in the league, and then they have moments where they just don't look very good. Like that Ole Miss game they had, that was miserable. But, I mean, I thought Ohio State, they got a good team. They got a good offense. They obviously have good players. Honestly, at the beginning of the game, Trey Sermon got hurt for Ohio State, went out for the entire game. He's now hospitalized. Good luck to you there, but you'll be up in our prayers for you. But for Ohio State, I think that was kind of a bit of a change, obviously, since Trey Sermon had been very, very good for Ohio State. Yeah, Bama's just a really good team. That's really all you can really say. They're just that good.
Yeah. Well, that's it for.
It's hard to really say anything about it.
Yeah. Well, that's it for college football for the year. We'll kind of figure out what we're gonna do for college football. Maybe some division previews or division reviews, or just reviews of what went on this entire season. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Peace out.